heard of the coronavirus and COVID-19? Coronavirus is a name given to a particular type of germ called a virus, which has kind of a crown-like shape to it. It actually has kind of a halo around it. And a coronavirus itself is actually a pretty common type of virus. In fact, the regular flu is literally a type of coronavirus. But the COVID-19 virus that we hear about was actually a new kind of coronavirus that was found out in the year 2019. The co part of that name stands for corona, the VI stands for virus, and then the D actually stands for disease, COVID-19. So COVID-19 is what you would call the disease that you could get if you are infected with this new coronavirus. What it is a respiratory disease. It's something that infects your lungs. It can also infect other parts of your body, but the lungs is mostly where it settles in most people. So that's why we need to take special care when we're trying to prevent spreading this disease to other people. So how can this virus get past? What can we do about it? Well, that's what we're going to find out. Let's start by talking about something I know you've heard about, wearing a mask. Right? You've heard that we should be wearing masks anytime that we're outside our house. Well, why exactly? Very simple. Put your hand in front of your mouth and exhale. Do you feel that moisture on your hands? Where does that moisture come from? As you exhale, you're actually squeezing the air out of your lungs, and there's a little bit of water that's coming out along with that carbon dioxide that your body is exhaling. So if you happen to have the coronavirus infected in your lungs and you are exhaling, it's possible that some little parts of the virus would be able to exhale along with that warm, moist air that's coming out of your lungs. That's where the problem is. Because if that's then hanging in the air, somebody else can walk by, breathe that in, and now they have the virus in their body. The thing is, you could have it in your body and not even be sick from it. That's what makes this so weird. So that's why we all have to be very careful about it. So it makes sense that if we wear a mask, then when we exhale, we're not going to be spreading that cloud of potential coronavirus out here in the air. Therefore, we want to wear masks when we're outside of our house. But let's see how that actually works. To do this, I modeled some breath. So if we take a breath and exhale, it's kind of like this, a little bit of mist coming out. Now, I know that's hard to see, so let me do something else. I colored this water very dark purple, and I'm going to put it down on the floor for a second and watch what happens. So, if I have this bottle of water and I adjusted it so that way it's just a fine mist of water coming out. If I squirt it, it lands out here on the paper. And it might be hard to see on the camera, but I can see that the water actually squirted all the way out here. So if I was in a room breathing, just breathing, not spitting or anything weird, just breathing, I could be exhaling and my little water droplets coming out of my lungs could actually be squirting into the room. Well, that's why we want to wear a mask. Because if a mask is on while we're doing that, I think you can see what's about to happen, right? That if we're wearing a mask while we exhale, those little droplets are not going to get very far. So that's why we want to wear a mask whenever we're outside our house. But wait, there's more. I'm sure that you've also heard that washing your hands is also supposed to help stop the spread of coronavirus. Well, how does that work? I'll tell you how it works. Because anytime you're touching your face or coughing or sneezing into your hands, you could have some of the virus on your hands. Then, potentially, you could be touching a surface, somebody else comes along, touches that same surface, and now they could have the virus on their hands. But wait, remember? I said it's a respiratory disease. It needs to be in your lungs to infect you. Well, there are some ways that a little droplet like that could actually get into your lungs. If you touch your eyes, believe it or not, your eyes are connected into where your nose is. And where your nose is, well, that's connected down into your lungs. So if you touch your eyes and you had some of the germs, some of the coronavirus on your hand, then that could actually drip down from inside your eyes into your nose. And now, for those of you who are saying, what? What do you mean our eyes and our nose are connected? Have you ever cried? When you cry, Don't you get a runny nose after a little while? Because literally your tears are dripping, well, in there. They're dripping in there down into your sinuses. So it really is connected. So something that goes in your eyes really can get into your nose. And then, well, your nose and the back of your throat's connected. So then, there you go. Direct path to your lungs. So we want to make sure that we're not leaving our germs around for other people to touch, because then they could end up getting it in their body. At the same time, we also don't want to be accidentally picking up germs and then accidentally getting it in our bodies too, right? So we've got two things to talk about now. Number one, if you sneeze, you want to make sure that you're not covering your sneeze with your hands, because then you're going to get those germs on your hands. If you've heard people talk about sneezing into their elbow pit, that's what I call it, that's why we do that. So that way then our sneeze won't go everywhere. But you know what? You might not even know just how far your sneeze could travel. Watch this. Well, I decided that I wanted to do a little experiment to see just how far a sneeze could go. So I took that same water bottle that I had, the same spray bottle that I had. So I kind of adjusted it so that it felt very similar to how it felt the last time that I remembered sneezing into my hand. So we'll go with that. And then I attached it with some rubber bands to a teddy bear just to make it a little bit more fun. Now, I've got this set up where I have a measuring tape here, and I stretched it out to 6 feet. So I'm going to start him back here. Here's where the 1 foot mark is. Here's the starting line. And I'm just going to give one quick squeeze. Ready? Chew! Oh boy. I think I see why we have that 6 foot radius thing going on. Watch this. So that one sneeze could get little particles stretched out for 6 feet from its source. No wonder it's recommended that we stay 6 feet away from people when we're outside. I have the lights turned out, and it might look a little weird right now because I want to show you something. I have this cool stuff called glow gel, and I have a very cool kind of light called a black light. Let me show you what happens when I turn off this other light. The black light shining onto the glow gel makes the glow gel glow. Well, here's what that's for. What I'm going to do is spread some of the glow gel on my hands. I'm going to pretend like the glow gel is kind of like germs. Then I'm going to wash my hands and see what happens. Let's check it out. So here's the glow gel. I'm going to first pretend like I'm just at school, and maybe I'm just sitting at a desk or something at school, and I put my hands down on the desk and I started to touch things, and I pick up my pencil and I'm using my pencil, and sometimes as we're thinking, you need to put your pencil somewhere and put it in your mouth for a minute, and I need my water bottle, and so I'm gonna use my water bottle for a minute, and is that something weird on my water bottle? Oh, okay. Okay, cool. Let's see what's happened to that glow gel, shall we? So you can really see that glow gel is just everywhere, right? And here is, on this other hand. But remember, I touched my face. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So if that really was germs, look how close that got to my mouth and my nose. Oh, this is disgusting. I also, though, picked up my pencil. And yep, I'm not sure if that's showing up on the camera, but there it is. The germs are all over my pencil. I even touched my water bottle, remember? Oh, yuck. Look at that. All over my water bottle. So, what can we do about this now? Well, remember, we have 2 lines of defenses. We can wear masks to make it so that we're not breathing out our germs that we might have out into the air. And we can wash our hands to protect ourselves and to protect others. So first I'm going to try washing my hands the way that I know I've seen some of you kids do. Sometimes you just go like this. Right? Well, let's see what happens. I will use a towel because I have seen kids use towels in the school bathrooms, but let's see if that gets off enough of these germs. Back to the light. Well, for one, it didn't get it off my face, that's for sure. And for 2, well, it is definitely still on my hands. Hardly anything came off. Look at that. So Obviously, I'm gonna need to do something more. So now let's try washing hands, this time using some soap. Now the way that you're supposed to do it is you wanna get your hands wet first and then put some soap on it. And you can of course turn the water off to save water while you're doing this. And what I'm trying to do now is think about where I saw all those germs, right? They were all over all my fingers. So I'm gonna twist around all my fingers and around my thumbs. I saw those fake germs on the backs of my hands. I saw those fake germs on the palms of my hands. So I'm gonna use friction and soap because the soap actually helps the water to get underneath the germs and lift them up. Otherwise, you know what the water does? It just goes right over the surface. So let's see what happens here. And, ouch, the water's really hot. Let me turn it down a little. So have you heard that you want to sing the happy birthday song 2 times to yourself while washing your hands? Now, I was trying to talk, so I wasn't singing, but you know what? I'm pretty sure that I have washed my hands long enough. Let's see. Now I will dry. And as I'm drying, I'm also actually using a little friction to maybe get the last bit of some of those germs off my hands. Well, they look pretty clean. Oh wait, you know what I want to do? I'm gonna wipe my face. This might not work, but I really am curious to see if I can get some of that off because that was really, really gross to look at. So let's see if that did anything to the face problem. And, ooh, well, that's a lot better. Now, you know what? My fingernails, oh, look at my teeth, are showing up because they are light colored anyway. A black light is going to show something that's light colored. The white pattern on my shirt is also showing up. But let me see if I can tell, you know what? That's not the glow germ left. You know what? This is my left hand, the hand I play guitar with, and I actually have calluses on the tips of my fingers, and those are actually showing up as white. That's really funny. I never knew that would happen. Cool, let's try my right hand. Again, I've got some of that white color on my knuckles. It's not really the glowing. Like, it looks on the camera, it looks a little different than it does in real life. When I'm looking in real life, I can tell it's not that same glowing that it was from the glow germs. I have some calluses on my palm of my hand on this side, and that's definitely still showing up as white. But really, the glow germ stuff is not here. Gone. I'm even looking in my cuticles and under my nails to see if I see any of the glow germ color glowing, and it's not. This is just the general weird discoloration of my hand. Let me check my face. Is it any better? Oh, it's still really gross. So, well, what have we learned? Well, a couple of things. Number one, just by breathing, we're putting out little tiny particles of water into the air, and sometimes those drops of water could be infected with the coronavirus. It could have a little virus riding along on those little droplets. Therefore, it's a great idea to wear a mask when we're out in public. That way, even if we don't have the sickness, if we don't have any symptoms, we don't even know we're sick, we still might have the virus though, and we want to make sure that we don't pass it to other people. In addition, we just learned that a sneeze can travel about 6 feet away from somebody. Therefore, we definitely want to keep both spaced apart from people and keep our mouths covered. But if you are sneezing, don't cover your sneeze with your hands, cover your sneeze with your sleeve, or as I like to call it, your elbow pit. Then we also learned that when you wash your hands, you want to make sure that you are using soap and water and scrubbing around all of your fingers. Like that, you want to apply friction. You want lots of soap, lots of water, rinse it really well, dry it well, and that's how we can keep germs off of our hands. I hope everybody stays safe, and I hope to see you all back at school soon.